Hello, wonderful people of the interwebs. We're back. Oh, really again? 1951. Oh my god, it's trying to be too smart, there you go. Hang on. Before we started, can I just say something? Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you booted up the game. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock at 12 and call it a day. But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. That's how I know you care about this experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have the way of knowing it if the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favourite time. Go ahead, pick whatever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Alright, let's get back to the video game now. That's why I love this game. Alright, we're back. So, we ended the last stream of me being in a desert. As you see, we're not in the desert anymore. Literally, I started the game up again, walked 2 steps.
This is the...
And, that's it. That was the end of it. Welcome back. However, though, I've done it wrong. Because, to my knowledge, I'm meant to get a bucket. Which I clearly haven't got. So, we're gonna have to go back to that. And I will read through all the, the narrator's dialogue, because we skipped a lot of it. But the bucket changes every single ending. So, before I do that, I am going to go through the rest of the normal endings.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't see the bucket anywhere. We'll go through that ending eventually. Oh, new content. Well, look, listen, I do want to explore the normal endings first, because the game has no endings which aren't like these ones. I'm not entirely sure how to get to them. I'm looking up an all endings guide. Just want. There was one by the Nintendo Switch, 20 pound Ultra Deluxe. There's like a guide that's released on the Nintendo Switch website or something. I'm looking at the game RAM, defines the game RAM ones. It's annoying because the quick links don't actually work. We will try the special, yeah. Insane ending, yeah. Press conference ending, that's a new one. Yes, I think this is a new one. Museum ending. Fusion ending. Found the new ending. Alright, so I was actually gonna check it. We're gonna go to the cargo room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes. Oh, we'll do the skip this time.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I swear if he did that quick, he would say, oh, must be losing it. So.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
So. Using some way, apparently, using a plank of wood propped up. Yes, I know I could fall down here that has its own ending. Using some wood that's propped up, Stanley can climb over the fence. That's all I've got from this guide. That I can climb over the fence somehow. I don't know if it's on this side or if it's on that side of the cargo area. I guess it's not on that side. I just don't really know how to see if oh, cheers. But yeah, I know there's a way you can. Well, I'll use the interwebs, because that's one problem with this Ultra Deluxe. I don't want to go straight into the whole new content thing, because I think that's how I get the bucket, which changes all of the endings. So I'd rather go through the endings first. The guy standing over the fence on the left, by using a plank propped up against the boxes. The gate on the left. There's no gate on the left here. Is it on about up there? Oh, look.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Well,
someone you've forgotten about. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Thanks, narrator. I had to do it because
all of his co-workers were gone.
I figured out where it was.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes. It's so weird seeing this bit like a lot darker than it usually is. To see a new content. Okay, we'll leave that for now.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
With the bucket.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room.
Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay. Go on, tell me I'm terrible at following directions.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Yeah. So you think something... I think a plank of wood. I still don't see this plank of wood. I see there's a way to get down there. I'm gonna have to search up a guide, an actual... You see it there, though? Oh. Okay, I'll just do that then. What? So that's not how the guide tells me I've got to go up like sort of a plank and then crouch into this vent. Clearly not.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path.
So the narrator's just loads of...
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Is that it?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That was a short ending. Like, that was it. The phone ending, the real person ending. The ending. I just want you to jump off constantly. Yes, yes. Game. What the game's ending. Okay, so I was just reading up on the game's ending, which is an ending that already exists. However, it appears the games have changed. Really? So I didn't expect this, because I was scanning through all the old endings just to remind myself of them. And the game ran thing, which is, by the way, already told me something wrong, is now saying the games are different. So we will... Oh, how do we get to that? It's right. Oh, fucking hell, I've forgotten how to get to that. Ah, right. Yeah, it is right. So, apparently the games have changed. So it used to be Minecraft and Portal?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. Confusion ended down there. Okay,
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Screw this up.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
So, just for a heads up, for the, how many people are watching? Maybe 1 or 2? For the one person that's watching, I've played this game before. Okay, not this version. This is like the brand new update that's come out after like 6-7 years. This is why I know to jump off that roof bit to get onto here and stuff. This is why I kind of know a lot of this stuff already.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Blue door.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Why does the audio just keeps cutting out slightly? If that's a bug, the audio keeps cutting. Yeah.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Hell yeah.
Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
No, it takes you away anyway.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices?
You know...
Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I don't know. Ooh, it's a hard choice to make. Ooh. I am just delaying while I post my my thing. Or, is it not? Yes, I am just posting my stream somewhere. Because that's just the kind of thing I do. That's just the kind of thing I do. Oh, yes. I'm a roadman. Oh. I think we're ready. I think we're ready. Alright. It's a hard choice, you know. I'm gonna say 5.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh, Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. And who's right at the bottom? Hoggoff. Good old name. Mr. Hayes, awesome. Okay, that's be interesting. Only the first 3% of players chose the blue door. I'm gonna be right at the bottom. Totally with that much hours. Take you to get the correct door. Yes, first improve. Oh, totally. Oh, I've got all those rewards. How are they going down?
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
Hell yeah.
Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
No.
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
It's the one ending I'm not doing.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
Hey, baby.
You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Yes, it is an ending. You sit here for 4 hours. You have dialogue with every like half an hour or so. It's an ending. It gets harder because you have to go press a button. They go press a button here. They go here and press a button. I'm not sitting here for 4 fucking hours. Save it. No, not happening. Not happening.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain.
So this is apparently different now.
What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Would it be different? Or have I been lied to? I've not been lied to!
Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation?
It's alright.
Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
So, it's still got the Minecraft door opening sound. They're going to be able to use that. Did I play Fireworks one time? Oh. I've gone the wrong way. God's sake. This is rich. Oh, hang on.
Oh, no. No, 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 it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Will it end on Portal again? Like, well, what can we lock to Rocket? Oh my god, it's Rocket League.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Oh. It's not really the most bold physics. Also, we're constantly, apparently, we're the orange team, apparently.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Hold on. What are you doing?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
This is why I was asking how we'd get to here. Oh, and we're here. This is how the game looked like when it was first made. I mean, like, oh, actually, they've improved this area. It used to just be, basically just be the old game, but there's all the walls that have been knocked down. I wonder if we can find the choice doors. The choice doors. This is left. This is basically. So this game used to be what? I don't know if it was like it wasn't a Gmod mod. It was a mod for a game. We can't go any more left. I'm pretty sure the game wants us to go all the way right. So all the way, not all the way right, all the way back. And it's the elevator. That's it. That's just how it used to end. To the right. Yeah, we'll do what the game wants. We'll go back to Stanley's office. It's a big, long walk for no apparent reason. 427. It's the old monitor and old stuff. Go on. Go black.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Wow. Alright. Next ending. Oh, we should probably get out here before we get there. There is an ending that we could get, I think. Just
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. To Expo. Stanley stood for a long time in one spot. It's part of a game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing excellent. And if he just stays right where he is, I'm sure he'll keep up that good momentum. Let's observe the genius at work.
I gotta remember how to get to it. The expo room. I think you get. You get by. Okay, we'll stop standing in one place. I'm sorry, narrator. We'll go to that in a sec.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We can do it. We can do it. Yeah, we're here. Like, so you can actually just go in here. I don't think there's any purpose to it. Might be. Go in here with a bucket of greens, that might be. This room. Has depend on the gun. What the? Huh? Where's this guy? Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure stuff is back where it was. Yeah. This is just an elevator for the point of being an elevator.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked,
unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Calming New Age music. Oh, I'm feeling all New Age about this.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
You know what? I feel relieved. I just feel great. Right, the description that says I just got news that my description says the public I'm not gonna change it. The description of this video says public VOD for the Hearts of Iron 4 Historical Weekly, Ryan. Alright. Let's go. Oh, come on. Oh, 0 of my concurrent viewers. Oh, it's got 1. Is this the toast? Base toast stream. Does the God King toast read chat? No. An 8-year-old really could play better. Oh, how dare you, Steve? How dare you say such rude language? I'm on an adventure, clearly.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Well, it will go answered for a bit longer because we're not.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, we're not.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh, hell yeah. Violent death.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oh, saucy narrator. Oh, red. That means love.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh no.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
So obviously you can see just all of the, just some assets and stuff. That's what the office computers look like. Different doors. Simple as you can get, really. That's all on the shoes, I swear. But there's a hole apparently here. Boss's office in different parts of the game.
Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. Intuitively, if you had even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad game design. But of course, you being you, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy on you. Try the other one then. And finally, he pushed the number 9. Now then, this elevator for sure will get him right back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story.
Oh. Stuff I've never seen before.
And finally, he pushed the number 6.
Huh. The lounge. Commercially underground portion. So the escape was there. Huh. Okay. And crouch. It's clock here. The outside. Spoilers! The old version of the outside. No. Countdown desk. Huh. We're looking for a big hole. 437, 437. Just different office layouts. Huh. Cool. Left. We're now still looking around for. What the hell is this? The Zending model. Oh, it's for the Zending. That looks nothing like the Zending. The Zending's where you just fall and run to your death constantly. So that's what the Zending is. Trailers. Okay. I'm still trying to find this place gets very confusing very quickly. So what's it? I'm missing This was weird. Yeah. I think I ought to see that. Oh, Deluxe announcements. Oh. I like how they do mock their own delay. That's maintenance room. No, where's the maintenance room? Oh. Still trying to find where the thing is. It's somewhere. I don't know where. Infinite hole. Stanley. Oh, what the hell? No, okay. What? I thought this was here. Oh. This is not here. This is at the expo? How the hell do we get to that? Oh, for fuck's sake. So, I thought this is what they meant by the expo. Apparently it's not. Apparently what they meant by the expo is the new content area. Just that you have to do it twice.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Here we go.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Are we doing this? Doing this shit again. Here we go. New content. Oh, straight into an elevator.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Potential. The fun. It's just Stanley Parable 2, just in different logos. Oh, so that's what it is. It's loader ideas. Yeah, this one here is probably the best.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Wait in line. Oh, fancy walls. It's just a random chair. Oh.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Yeah. The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. What?
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
No, it don't.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
Hello.
Just play along. I promise you'll
I
love
am
it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Hi,
If
everyone,
so,
welcome
then
to
please
Jim
step
Toast.
forward and press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! That was you! The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
Hell yeah.
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
No.
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Jim.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
If I actually screenshot. Nothing happened.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Great achievement. Hell yeah. The jump. Oh, it's the jump circle. Okay.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Aww. Well, I'm gonna look around before we go in the thing. Jesus Christ, this place is big. So we've been to. Oh, this doesn't help. Okay, we've been to there. What's the epilogue? We've been there. Z we need to go to. Where's Z? Merge. We'll go to there first. The bucket. Oh. Okay, no dialogue. Okay, we'll go to the bucket in a second. You know, it's the bucket. Infinite hole.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Kill her. Step the knees, hell yeah.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Aww.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Okay, we'll go back to the bucket. Bucket's important. These are also is another thing we need to do. The infinite hole. We'll jump down at once. But yeah, like I said, from my knowledge, when I was trying to look for the infinite hole ending, it's here. We sort of jumping it a couple of times. But we won't.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Well.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
We will explore everything about the
Great.
hole.
Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
There's an ending in itself. Ooh, what's up there? Okay. You just go to this thing now. Oh, get it here. Oh, the achievement.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
No, it's not going to get it, is it? Will it? Just like the other Stanley Parable, it's just an achievement you can never get.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Yep, obviously like the first game, there'll be an achievement you just cannot get. Because, lol. Nerds only get the 100%. So yeah, how's everyone doing? Oh wow, 11 total viewers. Alright.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Yeah. What the?
Ah, Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
think you can get them all. I don't know what they are though.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Exit. Oh no, we need the bucket first. We're not going out of here without the bucket. Reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Yes. Well, you've now got the bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
I think. Bucket shots have pen. What's the hashtag? Setting world champion. It's on this side of the board. Really? What? Reassurance bucket. The rest of, I think I've done the rest of it. This map. Jump circle. What's the hashtag? It's here. Is it literally just that? Okay, sure. That appears to be all it is. It's opposite merge, isn't it? Yeah, okay, well, to the exit then, I guess. That was a brilliant experience.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes. Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Where's my bucket?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's the bucket, if I ever need to use the bucket. Nice. And is that... I'm gonna guess that...
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Alright.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Alright. Now what end are we trying with? Oh, we'll just start from the start. We'll try the... Oh, we can't, damn it. We can't go back in the room, can we? Okay.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Yes, it was.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
50 clicks. Speed is key.
No, I'm still not feeling it. You see, now that you've gotten the bucket involved, my standards have gone up. Merely clicking a single door is no longer enough.
I love how this
now,
bucket changes
I want to see you press
everything.
this bucket against multiple doors. Now that's the kind of thing that merits an achievement. Why don't you put 20 bucket touches into door 417?
So the bucket has literally changed every single achievement, like every ending in this game. That's smart. I'll give it that. That's quite cool.
Okay, great. Now, go touch the bucket on door 437 a few times.
47. Is that this way? No. Scratch my arm with it. 437. 437. 17, 20, 437, 436. That's 437. Four, 3, 1, 4, 3, 6. All right.
Yes, now we're getting somewhere. How about door 415? Give it some bucket love.
Yes. Bit of bucket love.
Now back to door number 437.
Just all for an achievement. No, there's not even an ending. It's literally just for an achievement.
You know, I think the copy machine needs some attention. Why don't you
Hell yeah.
rub the... All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
I think we are, narrator.
Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk.
Let's actually get on top of the desk. Alright.
Yes, this is great. Now the bucket knows exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416.
416.
We've almost got it. Now make the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
Oh. So you should hold the bucket, that's it.
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the bucket on door 430.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes! We did it! Wow! That felt amazing. You know, not all buckets will get this kind of experience. They won't all know what it's like to slam repeatedly against nearly every door in one section of an office building, or what it's like to be employee 419. Buckets may dream of an experience like this, but few can say they've truly lived it. You've given a bucket hope today. Stanley, I'm very proud of you. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh, we're just going to go through all the endings, so yeah, sure.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Oh. Is there still a broom closet ending? Can we just say it?
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things. All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker. You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment, and to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies, easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So we're just going to pick a lot of endings, including the out of bounds and the escape pod ending, as those two are apparently the most improved according to Game Rank. We'll pick this one. This is an intriguing one.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious. he exclaimed. "Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it." Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
No.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
This would be different.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Oh my god. This is brilliant. So, I guess we just keep going through enders with the bucket.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
And I'll just skip that special dialogue. I don't know why I did that for.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I do want to have a good see what the confusion ending is like with the bucket. It's long as shit though. Do we go for it anyway? That's the thing was on the endings we did last stream. This time we have the bucket, and I think it is one of the longest endings. I think it would have some good gags about a bucket.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Fusion ending, here we come.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What? What?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
It's so... Oh, I fucking love this game.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Oh, no.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and... The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Okay, that was quite short.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I'm not sure which
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
What? So this bit of wood is now here? Oh. Oh. Oh, it's another thing. Okay. You think I wasn't meant to get down to this ending until I had the thing? Because I actually went down the side and parkoured it, which I don't think I was meant to do.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh, well, here, might as well do the vent ending with the bucket. didn't go off.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track.
What the hell?
Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down, it doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me. What's that? Who's there?
Oh. I was expecting a jump scare. What the fuck? That's scary.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
So I can't get the other ending then.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We'll go left. And we'll go up. I don't want to do the two biggest ones yet. Oh. How can we find them? This game twice has scared the shit out of me. It scared me on that last thing, and then I come in here. I didn't expect this to change. Fucking hell. So that's what happens when you get more than one of them, right? Is this gonna be the same?
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
I'll go up there.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
You might do the two main ones.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours,
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, I want to try a banana. Actually, no,
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Final choices.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
What if we do the jump off? You jump off, but with the...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was inconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
That's it. So, of course, obviously, these endings are quite short. The actual ending part itself, while you're holding the bucket, is very short. But you also got to think they've gonna have to do 90
All of his
minutes an
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting
Were you
room.
invited
Perhaps he
me?
had simply missed a memo.
we need to start finding more of them, really.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest, and this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Right, how many current viewers we got? Currently 0. Oh yes. Oh, we got a few people. 20 views. We haven't had a viewer since around 9:15. That's a move. in the last 15 minutes.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
It was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting
We'll do a
room.
quick end then.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo... But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Oh, well, yeah, we got this. Okay. I think this means we're going to get loads of boxes next time we load the game. I think.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do. Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Yeah. Let's do this.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Should we... I don't know, do you set the phone call or is it not? I think I want.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
No, you're not going to answer it. There is a choice there. It's very hard to see. You can pull out the plug in the box.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, nice house, Stanley. I say Jason to work.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from, me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket, this stupid hunk of metal. It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Oh.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket.
Oh, God.
It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
We live the same day over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Go home to work, to home, to work, to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes.
I'm a
The
child.
bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
I'm a child bucket.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
Oh my God. Oh my God, my phone went off while that happened. So I just got the flash on my phone with the vibration while that... Oh my God, this game keeps scaring the shit out of me. Oh, Jesus Christ. This game's gonna be the end of me, I tell you. Alright. Bucket time. So I said
All of his co-workers were gone.
very, very
What could it
short.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, what? Oh, okay, we have the room being the wrong way around.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Alright. Bucket time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his
Right.
chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Oh,
And here it was.
I'll
Had
do
the
one of
bucket
the
turned
proper
out to be
names. Was it
correct?
the-
Was it no? Never mind. The bucket
the
was
escape
wrong.
plan ending.
Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Alright, we'll go to...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Alright, here we go. In.
Stepping
Nice. Alright. Back down. Oh, this is all still devilish. I want them somewhat. So there will be cleaning of this wall required. to the skateboard. There we go. Apparently this is one of the endings which is significantly changed according to game, whatever it's called. All 0 of you currently watching, great. This is a quality stream. All 0 people are loving this stream right now. Well, I'll talk to myself anyway. I haven't been much changed so far, but obviously this ending's only just started. This ending was, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like this ending. I wish there was just a bit more to it. So maybe the bucket will add some detail to this ending. It's literally just going up some stairs and then going in an escape pod. There's a escape pod. Oh. There it is, bucket. There it is. What? Oh my god. Wow. Again?
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
Okay. Is that... So there's no bucket? How do I get the bucket back then? Ow, ow, ow. How to get the bucket back? I didn't think it'd literally just take the bucket. I want my bucket back. I'm not entirely sure how to get the bucket back.
When Stanley came to a set of two...
Oh my god, it's still a sequel. Can we...
of a man named Stan. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
The bucket. I want my bucket.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and...
I want my bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Okay, good to know.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Should we do it? No, we have time. Let's do the final bucket ending. I've got like 10 minutes until the stream. I've got to end the stream.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Difficult. Fiddle around with it for a bit. Get out this window. How I start? Fuck, I screwed up. Oh, there you go. Oh. Out the window.
Yes,
Whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
we've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like...
God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
We got the papers.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. Ah, the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Oh yeah, ship off. Yeah, that was a lot quicker than I thought.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone,
said the... Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here.
Video,
Let's take a look.
Go on.
What is comedic timing?
No, it's different.
What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm dunny with the funny" now.
I'm dunny with the funny. I'm dunny.
Good.
With the funny.
This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Okay.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
All the way back. Now, what if we just fall off? So it'd be cool if we could fall off.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on, all because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a... Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Oh.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back...
Yes, thank you.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Alright. Mate, is this the right? Yeah, that's right. Oh, okay. Oh.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos.
Yes.
Let's see.
And on that note, thank you lot for watching. Oh, we got a secret. Well, I'll quickly show this off. It's just one of the...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And goes back to the 2 doors. Yeah, just a special room that you can get sometimes. Hold on. Yeah! The whiteboard ending. And on that note, thank you guys for watching. Hasta la pizza.